Hey everybody, Matthew Cook here, the Tactical Dad on the Tactical Dad podcast. This is episode 9 and we're talking about home defense. And I can share where I started and where most of you are probably starting. If you're new to guns, new to buying your own guns, shooting guns, owning guns, this is probably why you're getting into that, to protect your home, protect your family, protect your ground. That's where most people are coming from, especially in the last few years. But we won't get into politics. So home defense, like what are the things to consider? Bring up my notes. And I am strictly speaking from where I started and from some of the articles, some of the people that I've spoken to. And the first thing, if we're talking basic, fundamental 101 home defense, the first thing you should do is go and see an instructor. We're not dealing with learning how to play the piano or learning how to hit a golf ball or learning a new recreational thing. No, learning a typical recreational thing. So yeah, you can go and buy a keyboard and mess around with it and play around with it, and you're not going to hurt yourself. But we're dealing with guns, firearms, so these things kill people. So you have got to go and see an instructor first thing. And there might be some local that you might need to travel a little bit. Fortunately, where I'm from, there's quite a few. They're not too difficult to get to or find. Plus, Google's your best friend. Just Google it. So see an instructor and learn some basic gun safety. Just fundamentals of gun safety. Then learn, and you can do all this with your coach. And if they're a good coach, then they're probably gonna go through these very things with you immediately. Learn fundamentals of shooting, like the basics. You're probably gonna do it with a handgun. That's where I would recommend starting, with a handgun. Learn how to hold it. Learn where to place it, where to point it when you're not using it. Learn where's your safe space. Finger on the trigger, off the trigger. When to do that, when not to do that. Just basics of using the gun, holding the gun, using the gun. Just basics in shooting. And then right off the bat, if you're with your instructor, do it, like shoot with the instructor. Then you've got supervised practice. So he or she is going to tell you if you're holding it correctly, how your trigger finger is, where your body's positioned, where your arms are positioned, everything that an instructor is going to look at. They can do it right there and then. Watch, all the other stuff's fresh in your mind. And then it's time to go and buy a handgun and go with a brand name. Go with a handgun that's known for being simple and reliable. And ask the instructor. I'm going to give you my opinion, which is biased because it's what I've heard from my instructor and it's what I've come to know as a brand name. So I'm going to say Smith & Wesson 9mm M&P series easy. That's what I'm going to say because that's what was recommended to me. So ask your instructor, they might say something different. Who knows? There's lots of brand names. But either way, simple and reliable is like key. It has to be, because if you're in this just for home defense, you're not going to be playing around with it. You're not going to go and practice to try and shoot competitively. So you want it, there might be weeks where you don't touch it or see it. So you want it to be really simple and reliable. Simple to operate, simple to understand how it functions. Buy a gun safe to store your handgun and some ammo. Locate the place in your home where it needs to be. Everyone's home's different, so I can't help you out there. Buy a pistol bag, a range bag, because the other element of home defense is you gotta practice. Like, you've got to at least commit to, in my opinion, bi-weekly or at least monthly practice at a range. So in order to get from your home to the range, you're going to have to put it in a bag. You can't just carry the gun around with you. So get yourself a gun, range pistol bag, and that's it for home defense. When it comes to strategy, and if you were ever, where to be positioned and in your home and what to look for, what to do, that's another episode, and that's things that I'm learning, so I can't really speak to that right now. But I can tell you that home defense 101, where I started and where I suggest other people start, is right there. That's all for today's episode. I'll see you next time.